Hi, it's Ike from Groovy Entertainment. Today we got another book and record to play for you. Today's book is Schaeffer and the Raccoons and the Mystery of the Disappearing Forest from 1983. So let's get started.
Somewhere on this earth, most likely a ways northward and a short distance past the horizon, there lies the evergreen forest. Many animals make their homes here. There's also the people who look after the forest, like Dan the Ranger and his two kids, Julie and Tommy. Oh, and their dog Schaeffer. This is the story of Schaeffer and the Raccoons in the Mystery of the Disappearing Forest. You can read right along with me in your book as you listen to the story. You'll know it's time to turn the page when you hear the sound ring like this. So let's begin. One day, the day before Christmas, a strange mystery began to unfold. It seemed the forest was disappearing. Dan the Ranger tucked Julie and Tommy into bed and prepared to go out and search for clues.
You can save the evergreen forest, can't you, Daddy?
I sure hope so, honey. Now, don't you or Tommy worry about it, okay? Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Soon Julie and Tommy started dreaming. High up in the Raccoon Dominium home, Ralph and Melissa Raccoon and their friend Bert Raccoon were preparing for Christmas. As Melissa hung their stockings, Ralph suddenly spotted something in the newspaper.
It's an outrage!
What?
Thousands of the forest trees have disappeared. Well, maybe, they've gone on a Christmas vacation. I wonder. Look!
Oh, no.
Ralph Raccoon was indeed right. No tree in the evergreen forest was safe anymore. At that very moment, the forest menace Cyril Sneer, accompanied by his college graduate son Cedric Sneer, was actually eyeing the raccoon tree with greedy glee.
But, why don't we just stick with the trees we've already done?
Not on your bottom dollar, Cedric. I've got the rest of the day. Enough time for me to get every tree in the evergreen forest. They're all to be mine. Mine, do you hear me, boy? Every tree for me.
Poor Ralph, Melissa, and Bert. Before they knew what was happening, they found themselves head down in the snowbank. Their home had been cut down. Meanwhile, Julie, Tommy, and Schaeffer were tobogganing nearby. Before Cyril could return to pick up the tree, the children spotted it.
What a perfect tree. I wish it was ours. Nobody seems to want it. Why don't we take it home and surprise Daddy? Oh, yes. What do you say, Schaeffer? Then it's unanimous. We've got our Christmas tree.
And so while the raccoons stood helplessly by, Schaeffer and the kids dragged away their home. Ralph reckoned the kids and the dog were the ones who'd been destroying the forest. Bert agreed, and Melissa was determined to follow the culprits and rescue their Christmas stockings. Ralph, Melissa, and Bert Raccoon followed Julie and Tommy to their cabin. The brave little raccoons waited quietly on the roof until the children went out again. And then they slipped down the chimney to make their move. But they had one obstacle in the way of retrieving their stockings: the sleeping Schaeffer.
Hey,
As Melissa reached for their stockings, she accidentally knocked a decoration off the tree. Schaeffer woke with a start. His cabin had been invaded. Immediately, a frantic chase began.
Hey, he's right on my pen.
With Schaeffer close behind, the raccoons raced out of the cabin and across a frozen lake. Suddenly, as they headed down a hill, they all found themselves caught up in one big snowball. With a crash, they hit a shed at the bottom of the hill. The strange sounds from within made them curious, and they peeked inside. To their amazement, they saw the real villain, Cyril Sneer, shouting orders to his workers as they cut the trees into boards.
Speed up! This isn't a garden party! I want to see some sweat!
Schaeffer and the raccoons realized their mistake and became friends on the spot. They decided that together they would stop the evil Cyril Sneer. As they huddled to form their plan, they knew that it would not be easy. When Cyril and Cedric came out of the logging shed to get more trees, the raccoons and Schaeffer pounced. Pretty soon, Schaeffer had a good grip on their long noses.
Why, you two are ecological disasters. Yeah.
Oh, forest destroyers!
Yeah.
Home record.
Yeah. You're finished. Yeah, you're finished.
Cyril was cornered.
Hey, why pick on me? There's a lot of other lumberers around.
There's a lot of responsible lumberers around. That means they only cut down a few trees, and those they replace with new baby trees. Your forest wrecking days are over.
Realizing he couldn't escape, Cyril Sneer reluctantly agreed to replant the forest. The animals were happy they had saved the evergreen forest, and yet they were sad too, because Melissa, Ralph, and Bert had no home for Christmas.
It's a rotten shame. I wish there was something I could do to help.
You're a good friend, Schaeffer. Merry Christmas.
Yes. Merry Christmas, Schaeffer.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
To you, too. Don't give up hope.
Back inside the cabin, Julie spotted the raccoon's stocking as she was straightening up the tree.
Hey, where did this come from?
Schaeffer excitedly led the kids to the window.
Oh, look. There's 3 raccoons. They seem kind of sad. Oh, maybe our Christmas tree was their home.
Julie and Tommy realized that the raccoons were homeless and decided something must be done. And since their dad was the chief forest ranger, they figured he'd be able to help.
Daddy's gonna find them a new home.
Schaeffer was so excited, he ran out to tell the raccoons the good news. And what happened next? Night turned into day. Julie and Tommy jumped out of bed to wish their dad a Merry Christmas, only to find out that it wasn't Christmas.
I must have been dreaming. Me too. That raccoon in the tree.
What are you two whispering about?
Oh, nothing, Daddy. Just a dream. Did you ever figure out the tree mystery, Dad?
No, not really. The funny thing is, the trees stopped disappearing. Just like that. It says here that overnight, thousands of seedlings were planted, but they don't know who did it.
Suddenly, Schaeffer barked. The kids went to the window, just in time to see a forestry truck unloading a beautiful tree into their front yard. And playing right nearby were three very happy raccoons. Looking out beyond the cabin, there were now thousands of seedlings, springing up as far as the eye could see. The mystery of those new trees never was solved by the ranger, but the young trees grew strong and tall. Each year a few became Christmas trees, but many more remained standing. The evergreen forest was never again in danger, because from that day on, it was protected by 3 raccoons and a dog.
So that was Schaeffer and the Raccoons and the Mystery of the Disappearing Forest from 1983. So if you like, subscribe, share, and comment, and have a good over there. Our next book would be The Embarrassing Bear Meets Santa Bear